Okay, in this quick video, I wanted to walk you through what I'm calling my nomenclature, not anyone else I've ever seen, the debug or developer mode of ChatGPT, where you get under the hood of what's happening. So let me give you an example. I did a prompt where I wanted to compare the, let's just say, the nature of collaboration between different industries, right? And so I gave it a simple prompt. And then what happened is that the answer, as you've probably often seen, was given in two versions. Now, here's the interesting thing. Most people, this is version one, right? Okay, this was one version, and this is the other version. Okay. All right, so you can just see the structure of this version, all right? And then you can see the structure of, you see it's 2 of 2. So this is the other version, all right? And I'm going to give it a thumbs up, okay? Now, the thing that I want to present to you is the understanding that I am able to, when you give, or rather you or anyone, when you get two responses, you want to understand what's happening under the hood, because the thing is that people are using the term super general, artificial intelligence, and what's really happening is artificial intelligence is, imagine a toolbox, and within it are different tools, different machine learning techniques. And if you want to be the person that has a higher level of knowledge, you have to know what tools are being used. And so what you can do is ask it to go into developer mode and then explain to you what tools and processes that you use to produce a certain answer. And also the benefit of that is that every time you give ChatGPT or any LLM very structured feedback, you're learning how to do better reinforcement learning, right? Or supervised learning, right? So that's an important machine learning skill, to be able to instruct the computer. First of all, think about a good teacher, right? A good teacher is distinguished from a mediocre teacher by how precise and relevant her feedback is, right? It's one thing a teacher said to you, you did that math problem wrong. And it's another thing if the teacher said to you, you did that math problem wrong. Let me tell you what's wrong with it, 1, 2, 3, and then let me show you how to do it differently next time, 4, 5, 6, so that when a similar circumstance, you run into a similar circumstance, then you know how to apply the feedback she gave you the last time you ran into that circumstance, and you got the problem wrong, and this time you can get it right. So the thing is that what's going to distinguish people in the coming years is them being very deliberate about their relationships with these computers, right? Learning how to give them appropriate feedback. And you can use natural language. When I say natural language, I mean you can either speak it or you can type it, okay? So this is natural language, a simple written statement, but I could have also turned on the microphone and spoke the answer. The whole point is that you want to learn how to give the computers, you don't want to just stop at the first answer. You want to learn how to give it really good feedback, which will help it with reinforcement learning and supervised learning, right? And then the more you give it good feedback, you'll get better at that very important and vital machine learning skill, okay? So the prompt that I gave it was, first of all, I told it I was giving it feedback, very deliberate, so it was unambiguous, right? Response number 2, these were the 2 responses that I was given, was so much better. Go in debug or developer mode for a second. Tell me the major difference between the two versions, right? So it gave me a very clear breakdown of the four ways that the different responses were different. First one, it says structure breakdown, clear thought process, a more focus on a contrast, which I really enjoyed, tighter language and more direct explanations, more emphasis on real world application. Now, if I wanted to go a little bit deeper, I could say break break down for me the specific machine learning techniques that were used in your response. Where applicable, outline if, or rather, where different machine learning techniques were used for the different responses. Be specific. Okay? Okay. So this was okay. So it said it leveraged MLP, RAG, and reinforcement learning, GPT architecture. Okay, transformer models. All right. The first response lacked a strong hierarchical structure because my weak focus was more evenly distributed across the topics. The second response had stronger contrasts and a more structured hierarchy. All right. Okay. All right. So basically, even though this response is, it's kind of, it's not the best. At least you know now that what was happening under the hood, right? Which is, and when you speak, you can say, okay, I was running some LLM analysis, and you can be very precise and say where I needed to analyze to multiple industries, and I was able to deploy MLP, RAG, and RLHF to get the response. Okay, it's so much. So now you have some context. You're not just quote unquote using AI. You're getting under the hood, understanding RAG, understanding reinforcement learning, understanding natural language. It says natural language processing, but it's also NLU, natural language understanding, and NLG was used as well, right? Um, and these are other more specific and precise BERT models, right? Those being used, okay? If I wanted to get fancy, I could say was NLG and NLU used. Okay. So it's just for under, so here, this is a very, now you know, right? So when I asked it very specific questions, what was being deployed, right? So if you want to say like what process, instead of just saying quote unquote I use ChatGPT, like what machine learning process is used to process specific questions, right? Natural language understanding, and then you can start using like you can start asking for very specific uh, uses of particular methodologies, and that's just going to help you give the machine better instructions, right? Um, I'll tell you a quick story and then I'll wrap it up. A long time ago, my dad showed me how to. I'm dating myself a little bit, but it's like a little um, long metal thing that you pull out, and then you take it and you the I think it's the 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 cooling fluid. There's some kind of type of fluid in a car, right? And you pull it out. It's kind of red, and he showed me how to take it and with a cloth and look at it and see the color, and based upon that, you could know something about what, if anything, is wrong with the car. Okay, so imagine you're going into This is a particular scare for a lot of women. Imagine you just bring a car into a mechanic and you say my car doesn't work. All right, like you're subject to getting taken for a ride because you just know it doesn't work and you don't know anything that's happening under the hood. Now imagine you go into um, a mechanic and you say, "Yes, my car isn't working, but I check one, two, three, four." Right? And you talk about four very specific things that you check. The mechanic is already going to know. Okay, I'm not just dealing with your typical uninformed consumer, right? And so similarly, when you start developing, which it is, relationships with the machines, the better you get at communicating with it, every interaction, right? The better you get at communicating it with precision and more clarity, then it knows, okay, I can, I can give responses because it's already naturally through reinforcement learning. It's already tailoring responses based upon what it believes will be appropriate for you. So the more specificity you're able to give it, especially in feedback, then you can start to get better responses and really understand what's going on under the hood. And when you understand what's going on under the hood, then you can just start deploying those resources in more sophisticated ways, right? So now you understand. Instead of just saying "quote unquote," I use ChatGPT. You can be more specific and understand what natural language understanding is, and then start understanding what machine learning techniques like topic modeling, intent recognition, NER, etc., NLG, same thing, right? NLP, right? Transformer models, RAGs. So I really want to invite you to, when you're given an answer, try to get some more detailed feedback on how the answer was developed and have a more active relationship. And when I say active, I mean give better feedback that is very specific to the LLMs, and you will just develop your skills. And just like you learn a foreign language, the different words that you learn in that foreign language expand your vocabulary, and you're better at speaking it. The same thing goes with using natural language to communicate with the machines. You'll develop a better vocabulary, a more expanded vocabulary. And when you have a richer, quote unquote, AI vocabulary, then you can start to have different and more advanced communication and conversations with the machines, which are going to help you. In fact, if I'll ask this quick question: on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of sophistication, what would you rank these questions I have compared to a typical ChatGPT user? Be specific. You can output the response in either a numbered list or a table for clarity. Okay, you decide. Okay. Super, right? Okay. So you see how useful this is? So it's just you can just pause the video and just read through it for the purpose of keeping the video concise. I won't read through it, but I just want to invite you that there's just so much that's happening under the hood, and the better you get at analyzing answers, not just taking it and quote unquote running with it, the better you'll get at developing your machine learning, your machine learning vocabulary, your artificial intelligence instruction vocabulary, okay? and you'll be able to give better and more precise instructions and feedback to the machines. This is Shola. Take care, take action, and feel free to subscribe.